Hello coding aliens, welcome to my YouTube channel Code with Akky. How are you doing guys? So in the first part we have already built the front end and we have just initialized our backend here. You can see we have this package.json and we have installed the dependencies for the backend also. You can see here we have this express, mongoose, path and the body parser there in the backend directory here. Now in this part we will just mainly focus on the backend and just integrate the MongoDB and just create a REST API to post the data on our application, right? So we just use the postman to post the data and we just create an express server for simply posting all these videos directly on the MongoDB, right? So we just create a step-by-step tutorial how to build this. So if you would like this tutorial and if you have not watched the part 1, I will strongly recommend you to just watch the part 1 of this video, then go to this part 2 because it is in the continuation of the part 1 of this build, right? So in this part we have installed the body parts and express, mongoose and the path, and the one thing that we just want to add or install the dependencies is course, right? So here we just add the course in a course dependencies because we just want to add a cross origin render, so to doesn't stuck with any error at the runtime. We just simply install the dependency that is course here. And one more dependency that is very important is the node-mon to restart the server after having any change in our project setup or project directory or in any file there. So we just install the node-mon also. So here we just add a dev dependency, so we just put a save dev and here we just add a node-mon, right? So it just enable us to simply restart our whole express server without doing it manually. So it just simply restart when there will be any change in the file. Okay, so let's install the node-mon in the dev dependencies there. Okay, now let's write we have these scripts here. Okay, so for this you can see it is installing the node-mon here. So node-mon is installed there, right? So let's close this terminal here, right? So we have this node-mon here, but you can see here we have a 1k plus. What I will do, we have a node modules here. So first of all, let's add it inside a git ignore. So let's add it git ignore file. So git ignore, and we just put a node module inside of this git ignore. So node modules, right? Let's save this. So we have this node module inside of this git ignore, right? Okay, now inside of this package we have installed all the dependencies there. Now what I will just go and just create a server.js file, and here inside of this server.js what I will do, we just update a package.json according to this. So for this main here we just put server.js, and here for this test what I will do, I will add a start, right? So we just add a start like this, and here we just add a node-mon server.js. We just start our application. It just simply start our server.js and just start our express server, right? So let's open this. Okay, one more thing, that we just want to host this application directly on the heroku. So to host the application to the heroku, to you guys have to simply install the .env also. So we just simply install the .env module also. So save dev and just put here .env. So in this tutorial we will also learn how we will host or deploy the application directly to heroku using the CLI, right? So let's install this node .env also, right? Okay, so let's set up the server. So inside of this server.js, the first and the prior step is you have to simply check if this application is in a production mode or not. So here we have this process.env and we just simply check here. So node.env is not equal to production. So if it is not equal to, we just simply check it. So if the process.env node module is not equal to production, then what we will do, we just simply config our .env. So we just simply put a require, and here inside of this require we just simply add a .env .config, right, like this. Okay, so this is first step. You have to simply put it here when you want to deploy your application there, node application there on the Heroku. And then we just now simply install everything that we have, import everything that we have installed in the dependencies through. So first of all, we have this express, so we have require express. Let's put the require express. So we just simply add a simple server setup first of all. So we just simply copy this and paste it for this express. Then we will add this router. Then we have this body parser. Then we have this path. We have this course, and then the last. Okay, so first of all, let's add this. So here instead of this express, we have a router, right? So we just create a router directory also there. So we have a router here. Okay, so we will add the router later. We'll create a router directory later. So till then, we just make it a comment it now. Okay, so here we have a body parser. So we have this body parser. Let's put it body parser here. Body parser. Fine. So we have this body parser here. Okay, next we have course. So for the cross origin rendering, so we have this course. So instead of this express, let's put it inside here, course. Now the last thing, that is we have a path. So we have a path here, right? So let's have this path here. Okay, so we have this path here, right? Okay, fine. Then we have this app. Let's create an app here, and we just call a function that is express. This call a function express here, right? And then we just want to add a port here. So for this port, we just create an object for the port. So here we just add a process.env dot port. Any port we have just specify there, or we just when we deploy it on the Heroku. So here we just put a 80 port, right? Then we will add a database DB connection there, code for the DB connection. Okay, then we will add the middleware here. So just put the middleware. Okay, so for this middleware, we just use, first of all, what we will use a body parser. So we have this body parser .json. We just use the JSON data, and we just simply add a limit of 50 MB, or you can add any add the limit according to your wish. Okay, so we have this here body parser. When we use a body parser, we just simply add a URL encoded thing. So here we have this body parser. Inside of this body parser dot URL encoded. Okay, and we just add extended. So simply for this extended, we just add a boolean of true value here, and let's add the limit also. So for this limit, we just add a 50 MB, which is a limit size here. Okay, so we have these things here. We have this app dot use. We have just using the middleware here, and the last, that is we just use the express.json. So we can use the express.json. We have the data that we will have just create on the REST API, and we just get the data in the JSON format. So we will have this express.json here. Okay, and now we just add the course here. So for this cross origin, so we just put 3 lines of code for the course here. So we just add a course file here. So how we'll do this? So for this, we just app.get, and here we have any file. So for this, we just put it a star here. So any file, we just have a request and the response, 2 object here, and request and response here. Fine. Okay, so here we just put the course here. Okay, so for this course, let's first of all add the course, and then we just create the route here. So for this course, we just use app.use course function like this. Okay, then we have a routes here for this. We just add a routes here. So we have, because we have a front end here, so we will have a build, right? For the front end, for the React, we will use the build version of this. So here we just add this here, app.get, and here we have three things. We will add, just wrap it inside exception handling thing. So we just wrap it inside of this try block, or inside of this try we have this res.send file, and here we have this file. We will use the path here. So we just join the path. So we have this path path.join, and here is a very important thing you can see here. So we are going to use the directory, which is a current directory name. So we just add the current directory name here. So here we just add a directory name. So dir directory name. This is a current directory name here. And if you see here, we inside of this backend, because we have this backend and the whole thing is the front end here. So what I will do, I will add the whole React thing, this whole thing inside of this front end directory, or we just put it like this as it is. But it is better if we put it inside of this front end directory, so that we can simply manage it from the from this YouTube source directory. So what I will do, I will simply create a folder. So let's create this folder here with the name of front end, and just grab this front end and put it here. So here we have this front end, and just what I will do, I will grab everything. Let's put it inside of this front end. So everything, node module and the whole thing will be put inside of this front end. Okay, yeah, it is not permitted because we have already opened the things here inside here. So let's save this first of all. Okay, so you guys can see here we have simply moved all these things, the modules, the public directory, the force inside of this front end there, right? Okay, so now it will be very easy for us to distinguish between the front end and the back end here. And the front end here, we just use the build, because React application, we just create a build file that is using the npm run build. So what I will do, I will open the terminal here, and inside of this terminal we just run the command npm run build, and then we just pass the directory, the path of this, right? So everything you can see here, everything that the star is just indicating that everything that we just got is just inside of this build version here. So let's open this let's open this first of all, terminal here. So just change the directory first of all. Let's go into the front end there. So inside of this front end, run the command npm run build like this, npm run build, and I will show you there will be a build folder that's contain everything there for this whole application. Okay, so you will simply inspect it inside of this browser, and you will see we have a build code inside of this inspect element if you inspect in the browser there. Okay, and then we will add the path here. We will just add the absolute path here for this res.send file after when we complete this build version of this of the front end there, right? So now you can see here the build is complete here, and now here you can see here we have a build directory. Inside of this we have this index.html, and which is very, very important, because this index.html will going to render when we deploy this application, and it just have all the information of the whole front end here, right? So inside of this build, we just now let's add this path name here. So we have this directory name, and then we have here let's put okay, let's put / here, and inside of this we have let's go back to the front end first of all, right? So let's go back to the front end. So front end like this. Inside of this front end we have a build. Okay, so inside of this front end we have a build folder. Okay, and inside of this build folder we have this index.html, right? So this is the way of doing this. Okay, so this is for the try, and if there will be any error, so for this we just add a catch block also there. So for this we have this catch block, and inside of this catch block we just simply send res.send. We just simply send if any error that no file or directory with having build directory having build, like this. So this is the catch statement there. Okay, now we just have to simply set the public uploads and all the files also there. So let's add this. So we just use app.use and inside of this, if we just upload any video data or video files there, so we just add any uploads here. So we have this upload here, upload directory. Okay, and then we just use express.static. Yeah, express.static here. So here inside of this build, if you see here, we have this static, or inside of this static we have the whole CSS and the JS code inside of this. Okay, so express.static, or inside of this build, if you want to add a widget, if you want to upload any data, so we just simply going to go to this upload router here. So we have this express.static, and here we just put the specify the path. So path.join, and here we just put the same thing just like for this, just like how we add for this for the build version here. So for this we have this directory name, and here inside of this after this directory name we have a front end build version, right? So here we have this directory name, and then we have this, and you have to simply put the path very correctly, because a simple mistake will trigger a lot of bugs or error in your code. So just put it like very carefully we inside of this front end, and then we have this build here, right? So let's put this build here. So here we have this path, we have this uploads here, and the last we just want to use the static file also. So app.use, and here we have this static. So for this let's add this express.static, and here we just add a path.join, same thing, path.join, just put the directory name. Okay, if you see here inside of this build we have this static here, so that will be the same thing, that will be the same thing for this static file here. We have this here, so let's put it. Or inside of this upload, what we will do, if there will be any upload, just create the directory with the upload, right? So just update this path.join here. We just put the same thing, we just have the same thing just like a directory name, but instead of this build we just want to have a upload directory like this. So just put it like this, uploads, right? So this is the correct way of doing this. And now the last thing that we want here. Okay, so last thing that we want here is to just add the listen app.listen. So here it will simply simply listen on the port that you specify there. So we just add here app.listen, and here we just provide pass the port here, right? And just call a function, arrow function, empty arrow function, and here we just simply add the console.log. So it just simply tell us that the application is now listening on the port. So we just now put here listening on listening, yeah, listening on localhost, or simply listening on port number. Just put the port number. Okay, and here here we just put the port. Okay, so we have these things, here, we just add it here. Okay, fine. So here we have this app.listen here. Okay, or okay, we can use the string templation. It will just simply add the method there. So simply remove this and we just simply put these things like this. Okay, here we just add a $sign or just use the string templation and just put the port here like this. So here we have this app.listen here, but you can see here we are using the course here, but we just have to specify the header. So we just have to specify the header and the origin there, right? So how we will do this? So for this we just use the app.use, add this app.use. We have three things. First we have this request, response request, and the next, right? So let's create this, and here we just simply have to set the header here. So we just simply set the header. So res dot set header. So here we just simply set the header like this. So we just add the access control allow origin. So we have this access control allow origin. So just put the origin. Okay, and we just put the star because we just give access to anyone, but it is not a good way to add for this production environment. It just add a security vulnerability in your application, but we just add it here like to never to not generate any error or any error inside our application, right? So for this we just add this. So access control over headers. So for this we just put allow, and here we just put the headers just like this, and here also we just put a star there also. Okay, so we just allow everything here, and now next we are the next function that will just call after setting this header here. Okay, so we are now done with this. Now let's save this. We are now set up our server, right? We have just now set up our server. So but how do we know this? So for this we just want to add a simple / here is just home index.js, or simply it just home directory here, right? So here we have this request or response like this, and here we just simply send. So res dot send, we just use res dot. Okay, we have this. Okay, we just add a res dot status. Yeah, we just add the res dot status, or simply write the send here, right? Okay, oh sorry, instead of this, yes, put the app.get, and here just add a res dot status or send status send, and you just simply send this thing hello world, right? Okay, so we are done with this. Okay, now let's save this. Or one thing you just have to simply set if you have add this. So for this you have to simply add here app.use, and here yeah, if you have to use here, so express function. So we have to you have to simply add this. Okay, but I will do it later. Okay, so we have this here. Now let's save this let's save this and just open the console here. Let's go inside of this backend first of all. So we have this backend here, or inside. Okay, we are okay, let's find it. So here we have this backend here, or now start this application. So we have already inside of this package we have already specified that to start this application you have to simply put this npm start, or you just add this node server.js. So you have two options, either you simply put npm start, or you just simply put the normal server.js, right? So let's put here, we have just put the npm start. Now it will simply automatically start the server, that is normal server.js, and you can see here the server is now starting, but the app is crashed. Now let's debug where the app crashed here. So here you can see here we have this duplicate name parameter here. Okay, let's see where we have this. So inside of this server.js, okay, let me see here. Okay, so we have this request. Okay, so we both of this, we have the response here, so just put here request. Fine. Now let's save this. Okay, so now it will automatically restart the server when I save this. Now you can see here it is listening on the port number 80. So let's open a tab, and inside of this just put here localhost, and just now you can see here res.setHeader is not function. So here we have an error that said the res.header set header. Let me see here. So res.setHeader is not a function. Okay, so we have an error at this 25th line. Okay, let me see. Yeah, we just got this because of this underscore. We just have to put the hyphen instead of this underscore. Now let's save this. Okay, so now it is listening on the port number 80. Let's refresh this. Okay, yeah, one more thing, we have this res.setHeaders. So it is fine. Yeah, it is a double access control, allow headers, and everything is fine. What I will do, I will add it. I will when we will do the API setting there, when we create the API server, then we will add this. So I will simply comment this now, and let's test it whether it is working correctly or not. So let's see. So it is now working here perfectly. Okay, so now you can see here we have already set up our Express server here, and now you can see here we have this application listening on the port 80. So it is not listening on the port 3000 because we have opened this React application from our Express or using the Node.js. Now you can see it is listening on the port number 80. So this is because we have created a build folder, and we have specified everything here. So we have specified the whole thing here, and the magic happens here. So the magic happens here. If you see here, we have this app.get and everything. Here we have this send file and this send directory and everything like that. Okay, so the whole magic happens here, and these three lines, if you see here, I will just simply zoom in the content first of all. So if you see here, this line just create the magic, or simply create our React application with the node here, right? So we are done with this. Now let's create or simply set up our MongoDB, or simply integrate MongoDB in this application. So to integrate the MongoDB, what I will do, I will just click here and just search for the MongoDB. Go to the MongoDB Atlas first of all. Okay, so if you have not have any account on the MongoDB, so just log in for register for there, and just log in here, and you will have this thing here. So we have this project one here. You can simply add another project here. So click on this new project here, and just give the project name, then create the collection, and then grab the whole thing, that the code, that the configuration code that you need to set up inside of this MongoDB, right? So just give the name of the project here, YT sorts, and here just click on the next. Okay, and here is the project owner. Click on the create project. You just create the project here. Okay, so it just take time to set up your cluster or the server. It just take 5 to 10 minutes to build a cluster there. So let's click on this build a cluster here. Fine, and here for this cluster create a free, because we are going to use the free shared clusters we have, and it just take time to create the cluster there. Okay, it just take 5 to 10 minutes, I think, approximately, to create a cluster there. So when the cluster is creating, now let's create a database access here. So let's create a new database user here, and here we have I will not show you the password and this for this here. So you can simply use this password to connect to this database here, right? So we have this, and what you have to do, you have to simply put here the admin, the Atlas admin. So simply click here the Atlas admin and click on this add user here. So we have this name, username, and we have this admin roles and all the resources, and we have this if you want to add more database users, so you can simply add the database user here. And the next, that is the network access. So for this network access, you can simply add the IP address here. So for this IP address, we just allow access from anywhere. So you can add a specific IP address, or you can simply allow it anywhere by adding this here, right? So simply click on this confirm here. Okay, so it is not best for the production environment, right? So I'm just adding it for this production. For the production or for the security, you just have to put it according to yourself. Currently it is inactive because we have to it is taking a time to create the clusters here. So let's first of all build a cluster here. Okay, so here let's click on this cluster here, create a cluster first of all, and for this cluster you have to simply select the rest of things first of all there, right? If you see, we already have a cluster like this, so I will simply show you how this cluster is looking there inside of this my another project that I have here. So inside of this Atlas, you will see here this is the cluster here. You can see here we have a connect here, we have this collections here, right? So here if I click on this connect here, so just click on this connect here. Okay, so inside of this connect, you have to simply click on this connect your application. So for this connect to your application, you have to simply copy this connection URL like this. Just copy it, connection URL, copy the connection URL here, and simply close this for initially, and here click on inside of this VS Code here. You just have to simply put it inside of this. I just simply put it inside of this git ignore, but here we just put it inside of this git ignore currently, right? Okay, so we have this connect here. Okay, and then we have this collections here. So inside of this collection, you will get the whole things here. Okay, so when your cluster is ready, you can simply connect it here. Okay, now fine. So we have this cluster here. Okay, so we have this cluster here, and now we have this my first database here. Now you can see here we have this first database that is created here, and now you can create a database here. Okay, so here you can simply give the database name, the YT sorts. So YT sorts, we have just given the database name, and the collection name we just put the YT videos like this. So YT sorts and YT videos. Now let's create this database. We are sorry, unexpected error has occurred. Okay, I think there is an error occurred. Okay, let's give there another name, not the YT database. So we just put there sorts and sorts videos, sorts vid. Now let's create this. Okay, so now it is created now. I think, yeah, you can see here we have a sorts here. Okay, so now we have a 3 database and the 3 collections we have. You can see here we have. Okay, let me make it a bigger screen here. So now you can see here we have these things here. Okay, so now we just want to simply connect to this any of this database. So how we will connect this? So let's do because we have already copied there. So you can see here we have this my first database. So you have to simply update it and just put here the sorts with because sorts here. So we have given the, yeah, you can see, if you can see here we have this sorts here now, right? The database name. So we have updated here. Okay, now so let's save this. So we have this sorts database and everything here just like this. Fine. Okay, so we have this inside of this we have the source with collection there. Fine. Okay, so here inside of this what I will do, let's make it somehow bigger. Okay, so inside of this here what I will do, I will just create a db.js. so db, let's put it db.js, and here inside of this all the database code, right? All the database code or the connection code, we would write it inside this db.js, right? So for that, first of all, what we will do, we will first import the mongoose inside of this db.js. so let's import the mongoose first of all. So const mongoose here, and just put the require, and inside of this we have a mongoose here. So we have this mongoose here, right? Okay, so we have this mongoose here inside of this. Okay, and then we will add a nodemon.json for the password there. So for the security reason, I will not show you the passwords currently. I will add it inside like this. So I will add it here. So let's create another file with the name of nodemon.json like this, and here inside of this nodemon.json, what I will do, I will simply put here env. Let me add this env, and here we just add the mongo password or mongo URL. We just put the mongo URL here, connection URL here directly inside of this env there. Okay, so I will not show you the dot, and here you just want to simply put the mongo URL here. So we have already created the nodemon.json, and it contains the mongo URL, connection URL, right? So now let's import the content from there. So we just import this. So const mongo user and password, and here we have this require, and it is inside of this nodemon.json, right? So it is inside of this nodemon.json, and here we have this connection URL. So we have this connection URL, and for this connection URL we have a mongo user pass, and inside of this env, and inside of this mongo URL, right? Okay, and now we just export the connect function of this module. So module.exports.connect, and here we will create an empty arrow function here. Okay, and inside of this we will use a mongoose.connect. So mongoose.connect will simply connect to the cluster that we have created there. So inside of this cluster we will have a connection URL. So we just pass the connection URL here. So here we have this connection URL, and we have a rest of things here. We just want to simply set the rest of thing also there. So one thing, that is create user create index, and we just pass it true, boolean of true, because next use unified topology is also put it true. I don't know why we have to put these things, but I think it is a convention, because if you miss any of this, use create index or use unified topology, you will got error there, right? So let's add one more thing here. So use new URL parser, and for this you have to also put it true here, right? Fine, everything we are done with this. Okay, now it is a promise here. So for this it will have a then here. So inside of this then we just console out that we just on successful connection, we just simply console out the connect successfully. So connect successfully to the database, right? So we just simply console out the message, and if any mishappening, or if we unfortunately if any error, we just simply catch that error. So we also console the error also. So console.log, and we just put here the error like this. Okay, and we just put the error like this, and we just put the error. Okay, so we are done with this. So we have this mongoose. Okay, and next let's save this, and now you can use this connect function anywhere in your project here. So we are done with this. So let's inside of this server.js, and here we just want to remove this app.get first of all. Okay, and inside of this server.js, what I have to do, inside of here we have this db here, and here we will simply put here we just want to use this. So first of all we have to import it, import the module from db.js, right? So let's add this. So const db, and here require, or here we have this in db.js, right? So let's add this db dot, because we can use any function, because use this function db.connect anywhere in our project here. So we have this db.connect, and now let's save this, and let's open the terminal, and now you can see here it is starting. Okay, if it successfully connect to our server, then cluster, then it will simply console out the connected to db. So it is now listening on the port 80. Let's see. Yeah, now you can see here connect successfully to the database. So we have successfully connect our application to the MongoDB database. Now we are now good to go to create routes and model here. Okay, so let's create this. So we are done with this. Our server.js is working perfectly here. Okay, and now inside of this backend we just create a routes. So let's create this routes, and I just have to put in the small letter. Okay, so I just put it inside the small letter, or just put it like this. Okay, so we have this route, or inside of this route what we will do, we just simply put it here routers. Okay, so we just put here routers here, or inside of this we just create video.js. Okay, so inside of this route we have a video.js, and here inside of this video.js we will simply create a function, right? So we just create a function database here, there, right? So let's add this. Okay, so we have this video.js, and first of all we have this express. So simply put the express, const require express, install, import everything first of all. So we have this express, and then we have to create a router. So let's create this router, and just put this express dot router like this. Fine. Okay, and then we create our database model schema for the video, right? So we will add these things also. So for this what we will do, first of all let's create another folder with the model, right? So inside of this model just put it here. So inside of this model what I will do, I will create a db model that is a video.js for this model here. So inside of this model what we have, we just have a mongoose. So first of all import the mongoose there. So mongoose, not from, require mongoose. Okay, so we have import the mongoose here, because we are going to create the schema for the video, each video here, because we want to post the video on our API that we will create here, and will show you inside of this postman also how you can create the REST API. So it is a very, very important step that we are working on here for creating the REST API. So we have this mongoose. So let's create the database first of all, the database schema for this, right? So let's create the database schema here. So where we will use mongoose for this. So it is very easy. if you see the deployed, if you see this, so we have a video, we have the channel name, we have the number of likes, subscribe, and everything like this here, right? So we just want to add the whole things here. So here we just create the schema for the database here. So let's give it the name const yt sorts like this, yt sorts, and then here just put here mongoose.schema, and here we have a NoSQL type thing. So we have this first URL, so URL will be a string, okay. Then we have a channel name, so channel name will also be a string, okay. Let's put this string. Then we have a channel name, then we have this likes, so likes, for this likes we just put in the number, okay. Then we have this dislike, so for this dislike, likes and dislikes, okay, dislikes, so for this it is also number, okay. Then we have this comments, so comments, for this comments we have this number, fine. Then we have these comments, after that we have this description, so description, for this description we have this string, okay. And we have this number of shares, so shares also will be number. And then we have to just add the date, so created at, we just put here date, right? So we have just created the schema for this. And now what I will do, I will just simply want to simply export this, so simply put the module.exports, exports it, and here we have this mongoose.model, we create the model, and we just pass the yt, we just pass the yt, let's just give it the yt videos, just give the name here, and just pass here the yt sorts, right? So we have created the collection, that is we have just created the model here, right? So this is the way how to create the model inside there, okay. So inside of this video.js route, what I will do, I will create a index.js, so we'll just create the index.js and we'll specify the thing for these routes. So because the index.js will have the rest of things first of all. So inside of this index.js, what I will do, I will simply import the express first of all, the same thing that that you have to do in the video.js. So simply import the express, so express const, okay, require, just put here express, fine, okay. Then we have a router, so let's create a router here. So for this router we have this express dot router function, fine. And then what we will do, we will create a video route. So how we will create the video route, so it is very easy. So simply put here const route, or simply const video route. So for this we just put this video router, and just put here just provide the path for the video route. So we have this video.js, right? So we have this video route, and then we have two things. We will just want to add a get, okay. So in here for this get, you just add the index for this. So for this home route, we have just provide two things, the request and the response. We have this request and the response, and for this home page we just want to simply send a message. Let's simply send the message. So res dot send, and okay, what the heck is this? Res dot send, what is this? So prior to use the use this router, first of all you have to specify in the server.js first of all, because I have not specified it there. So I will just simply put it here like this, const, and just put the router here, okay. So I will just simply put it at the top after the express. Yeah, we have just had this. Let's uncomment this. So we have this router there, okay. So we have this router here, and just specify the path for this router. So here we have this routers, Okay, so inside of this router, so we have this router here. Okay, and we just specify this router. How we will specify this? So simply we will add a statement that is app dot use API. We just provide this router to use these things. So app dot use, and here we just provide an API. Let's put this API, and everything that will start with this /API from this. So here we just provide the router here, just like this. Fine. So it's just a way to simply set the routers here. Okay, and now we are done with this. Okay, let's save this. Okay, I think let's uncomment it, and now I think it is now working. It will work fine. Okay, so now uncomment this and grab this app.course, because we have to simply put the app course at very last here. Okay, but before this, so we just paste it here, app course here. Now let's save this. Okay, so inside of this index.js, we just want to simply send. So we just provide the res.send send. Here send method is not provided here. I think why it is not showing. We just simply send here, welcome. You have to simply YouTube, simply put the YouTube shorts clone by code with Akky. So it will be a home route. Okay, so it will be a home route here. And next, the last thing, we just put the router.use, and here we just put a router, that is everything that will be started by the API/video. This is the route for the video router. So here we just provide the video router here, and we want to use this. So for this, we just simply export it. So put here module.export. So module.exports, and here we just put the router here. Okay, so the API will start like this. The domain name /API/ and then this video. Right, now let's save this, and whatever you specify it, you have to use it inside of this video.js. Right, so inside of this video.js, we will add two things, or we will add a post API, and we create a get API. Right, so we will we will use the post API or the get API. Right, so prior to you add this, so let's create a data.js. First create a JSON data, or simply data that we just simply send to the server, and we'll simply check it that whether it is gone or not. Okay, so let's, inside of this data.js, I will simply copy the code for the data.js, because it just have a link or the number of the like, comments, and everything like that. So that's it, not a big deal. Okay, we have just forgot about the parenthesis, so put in the parenthesis there. Okay, so we have this router.get posts, and then we have to simply add the post function. So here we have this router.post. So here we just simply post the data. So post data. So here we just put here simply posts like this. Okay, so here we have these posts. We have the same thing like request and the response. Okay, request. Okay, I will just add this request and the response here. Okay, let me put here the request, and here the response. Fine, everything is right now. Okay, so here this request and response here. Okay, so inside of this, we just create an object. So let's create the object that what we get from the body, that what we have the data. Right, so we have this videos. So I just put this videos db, that we got it from the database. So we just put here db, and here we have this request.body. So what the data that you have passed it here, it is now transferred to the API, and the API now provide the data to the post function by this request.body. Right, and then we just put here the db videos because db videos dot create, and create will simply create a collection there inside of the collection, and simply push the data directly to that MongoDB collection. So db dot collection, and here we just provide the YT videos db, right? And we just provide two things also. One is error and another is data, and it is just we'll just create call a error function here. And here if we have this error, we just put here send res dot update the status first of all. So simply update the status to the 500, that is the internal server error, dot send the error, the exact error we have, else. Okay, and else if there will be no error, then what we will do, will or we will just add the console.log error. So we just simply want to console out the error what we have, what we get here. Fine. And the last thing that we have to simply put here, so res dot status, put it here, the for this success. So we just put here 201. So 200 HTTP code means the data that you have sent is successfully posted there. So we just put it here 201 and simply put the send. And here what we will send, we will simply send the data that we get it from the DB Connect, right? Fine. So we are done with this. What we will do, we will simply export it. So simply export it, module.exports dot module.export is equal to router, and now we'll simply export the router here just like this. So we are now done with this. So now how we will test this? So how we will test this this application? So for testing this, what you have to do, you have to simply open a postman if you have to. So simply open the postman first of all. So I will show you how you can push the data in the data there. Now we have opened a postman for you guys. Okay, so let's add this. So here inside of this, what I will do, first of all, we want to simply test the API whether it created or not. So let's put it here, localhost, and just put the port number 80, and after that just put the API and simply click on this send. Let me just see the data that we get. Okay, so click on this send. Okay, so we just put a get request. We have just provided the get request here. Okay, now you can see here res.send is not a function. Okay, so we have an error here. I think we are just error, I think there. Okay, let me see here the error inside the console first of all, then here. Okay, so what's the error that we got? So basically type res.send is not a function at index.js routers. So let's see inside of this index.js. I think one is unsaved, one file is unsaved. App.source. What happens here? Okay, inside of this res.send, video. Okay, we have not saved this, so let's save the video first of all. Okay, let me see here inside of this. Okay, let's call one more time. Okay, so we have the same error, that is res.send is not a function inside of this index.js. Okay, so basically it is inside of this just got this inside of this index.js. Okay, so we have this res. Okay, so router.get. Okay, fine, you have just got it, you have just got this. Okay, so router.get. Okay, we have this request and the response res.send YouTube source clone code with the key. Yeah, everything is fine right now. I think why is this error coming here? Yeah, I just got this error because the first thing you have to pass it here, the request, and after that you have to pass the response, right? And here now it is perfect here. Now let's save this. I think the error should have to gone. Okay, so inside of this postman, so we have this inside of this postman here. So I'm just going to simply remove the body first, video first of all, and then hit the enter button. Now you can see here YouTube source clone by code with a key. So this is the thing that is coming directly from here. So we have successfully set up our API, REST API here. You can see here the we have successfully set up our REST API here. And now the next the route we have, that is a video. So for this video, now let's save this, send. Now you can see here we have everything here. So now you can see here we have the whole data that we have here, we have had here, right? So basically we have the whole data here. And now what we have to do, it is this whole data is coming directly from where? It's just directly coming from this data, and this whole data is now pushed to this API, this API that we are talking about here. So just push to this API here. Okay, and now you guys can see here we have this status of this code here. Now what we want to do, we just want to put here post here, because you can see if you go inside of this if you go inside of this video.js, we have set the two routes. Yeah, you can see here at this this is the home route. So this is the thing that we get it here when we don't have these things. So basically this thing, localhost 80, so let's close this first of all. So localhost 80 API and video is as equivalent as this here, as you can see here, this line of code here, because the data you see here is directly coming it from this data.js, right? And then we have these posts, right? So then we have these posts here. So let's put the posts here and hit the enter button. We would have nothing here because we have not posted any data to that to this API here. So to push any data to this API, we have to simply call a post method here. So for this post method, what we will do, we will post the data, right? So I will just simply grab the JSON for the first here. So here we have this video. I will just simply grab the whole JSON here. So I'll just simply copy this, fine, and inside of this we just put here post, and we just simply put here posts here. And one more thing, I will show you here side by side the database also. So inside of this database, if you see inside of this cluster, right, inside of this cluster we have the collection with the name of YT sorts. And here if you see inside of this cluster collection here, so for this collection we have this sorts here, and here you can see here inside of this sorts collection there is no data here. We don't have any data right now, but when we put the post here, when we call the post method that is here and push the data, you can see here the data will be available on the MongoDB also. So we have just called the post method here. So we have simply call this localhost 80 API video, and then posts here. And then what we will provide the body. Okay, so this body will be called when request.body that we have created here. If you see here, we have this create function here. So when we have this create function, we have this request.body. So basically we just pass the data inside of this request.body here, right? So here inside of this request.body here, so here we have this body. Here we just simply pass the raw data, and raw data in the form of JSON type. So just paste whole JSON code here that we have copied from there, and we have pasted the whole JSON code here, and now this whole code will be pushed there, and we will have a status. Now it is 200, but when we successfully post this data, we will have this status updated with this 201. So let's post this data. Okay, so now what I will say, we'll simply click on this send. Now it is just sending request, and now you can see here this bad request. So why it is happened? So let's figure it out. We have an error. Okay, so let's see where we have this error there. So basically we have the error here. So simply remove this. Okay, I just simply remove the whole data one time and send one JSON this data at a one time. Okay, so now let's send this data. So let's send this. So here it is sending request, and now you can see here we have this status created 201 and this time and this size here, and now we have these things here. So you can see here the ID is automatically generated by the mongoose automatically generated the ID here. We have this URL description and we have all these things here. Fine. And now let's test that, check the data inside of this collection here. So we have this data here inside of this source suite. So click on this. So let's see whether the data is pushed there or not. So we have to simply see the data is posted here or not. So it is now. Okay, let me see here where the data is going. Fine. So let's refresh this first of all. I think so. Let's refresh this and let's see the data is pushed or not. Okay, inside of this YT videos. Okay, let me see data is posted or not. Okay, it is loading documents right now. So if you guys can see here, you can see here we have the data that is posted on the MongoDB also here. So we have a unique ID already generated here and we have the data here. Okay, so let's do it one more time and push the data. So let's go inside of this postman here. So inside of this postman, what I will do, simply grab remove this and paste the data, and we have an error. We just simply provide data one by one. So simply remove this. So just remove this. Okay, so now just send the data here. So we have sent the data. It is also created here. Now let's go to the MongoDB, and here now we have a one single data here. So now let's refresh this. Now you will see here we have a two data that we have posted here, and it will now reflect on there. So we have now, you can see here we have a two data here. So we have two JSON type data that is pushed on the MongoDB. Let's push another data in here from the postman here. So let's put the another data. Fine. So let's remove this and paste it down and simply remove, because we have an semicolon here. Okay, let's remove this, save. Okay, now cancel this. Okay, so now send this data. Okay, so we have sent this data, and what I will do, I will simply send the whole we will simply send the whole data at one go. Okay, so let's remove this, simply send it one more time. Okay, fine. Right, let's paste it here. We are left with two data, I think. Okay, two more data. So we have now posted all the data on the MongoDB. So let's check this. So simply click on this refresh. So let's refresh this. Okay, yeah, we have this variety sorts. Let's refresh this page. Okay, I think, where is this refresh button? Yeah, here is this refresh. So simply refresh this, and we have the whole data that we have posted using the postman here, and a whole data will be posted directly on the MongoDB. So this is how we will create the REST API. Now you can see here we have created the REST API, and we have the same data that we have posted two or more times. That you can see here, we just simply delete this data. So simply delete this. Okay, so we'll simply delete the data that is posted two or more time by mistake. So simply we have deleted this data. Okay, so we are now, yeah, everything is right. I think everything is fine right now. Okay, so we are done with this. So we have now data on this here. So now what I will do, I will simply now call the get function, because initially on get request it doesn't reflect any data, right? So on the get request, what I will do, I will simply see the whole data that we have. So now you will see here the whole data is now coming, is it is now it is directly coming from the MongoDB. Now the whole data is coming directly from the MongoDB. And now what I will do, I will use this data, or simply use this data or data to in our front end application, right? So we have created our REST API. Okay, so we have created our REST API and we have pushed the data there. And now instead of any hard coded text, what we will do, we will simply put the whole data directly, fetch whole data directly from the MongoDB now. Okay, so let's see how we will do this. Okay, so if you see here, inside of this MongoDB, we have the whole collections. We have the whole collections that is that we have directly from the Express server that we have posted the data, whole data there. Okay, so now it's time to simply call this. So what I will do, you have to simply install Axios first of all. So let's install the Axios first of all here. So here inside of this, you have to simply install the Axios to call the API endpoints here. So simply install the Axios inside of this front end. Now inside of this front end directory, first of all change the directory. Let's go inside of this front end. Okay, and install the Axios here. So Axios here. So Axios is installed now. Okay, so let's open inside of the source directory. We have this app.js, and here you can see, okay, you can see here we have we have updated using the use effect. But now what we will do, we will simply we will not update it using the use effect. Okay, so for the initial PDF, just put it like this here. But for this, if you see here inside of the deployed version, we have these things here. So what you have to do, you have to simply put it the same thing first of all here. So here inside of this, we will import the Axios first of all. So simply import the Axios, import Axios from Axios, right? So from we just import the Axios here. Okay, so we just now call the function. We have this video, and the set video we have this here. Okay, so now we will just create call a use effect. We have this use effect like this. Okay, and inside of this, let me put this. Okay, so inside of this use effect, we will call of user function async or await. We will use async or await, right? So we just put here async. We just call a function, just put it, give the name of fetch videos like this. Okay, and here inside of this fetch videos, here we will have a const response. Let's have this response here. Okay, and then we have this await. Just put the await here. Okay, so for this response, we will simply call the Axios dot get, and we call this API, that is API dot API slash what we have this API slash video slash and posts. So this is the endpoint from where we get the from where we are getting this data, right? So this is the endpoint for this API to get the whole data directly to the front end from this endpoint here. Okay, so let's just have a then, and then inside of this we just want to simply res. We have this, simply put it res.data, right? So res.data here, and then if anything like if we have any error, so simply catch that error. So simply console the error also. So console dot log, and this we have this error, right? So we have this these things here, and then we will simply call the fetch video function like this. So we have just simply call the fetch function here, and what I will do, I will simply console the response also. So simply console the response like this. So we are done with this. So we have simply consoled the response here. Fine. So we have simply consoled the response here. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to simply save this, but you are not going to see anything, any responses there inside of this application, because you have to first of all run the command npm run build. Then you will able to add these things here. So you have to simply run the command npm run build, then you will able to add this thing. So let's run the function, so let's run the command npm run build first of all. Okay, so let's open the terminal. Okay, inside of this terminal, inside of this frontend, just put just fire the command npm run build first of all. Okay, We have build there. Okay, so now you can see here inside of this console, you will now see the data will be coming here. Okay, refuse to apply styles CSS. Okay, because it's my time index text HTML not supported by. Okay, I think the error is at the manifest.json, right? Okay, I got that. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, res dot. Okay, let me see here. Internal server error is coming. Let me fix this issue first of all. So we have now comment the course here. Okay, so after commenting, it is working perfectly here, right? Okay, so now you can see here we have an array that is coming from the app.js, which is from the 19 line of code. So let's go to the line number 19 inside of this app.js, and now you can see here it is now returning the response, that is consoling the response, and this data is coming from this endpoint. Okay, so this data is coming from the endpoint, that is here you can see here. So this API, that video that posts, so it is coming from this endpoint. So we are now done with this, and now we can manipulate this data and use it here inside our application. So how we will do this? So instead of this use effect, I will simply remove this here use effect, and we'll simply set the video with the responses that we got. So we just put it here here set videos, and here we just simply put the response inside of the set video, and now we will have simply pass our whole thing here. So first we have this ID there, right? So we have this ID, so we have this ID here. Next we have the source, right? We have the source, we just pass it as a props here, and here we have this properties, right? So we have this ID, we have the source. Let's put the channel name, so simply we have this channel, so channel here, let's put the channel here. Let me put the width.channel like this. Okay, then we have this description. So for this description we'll add description width.description, right? Next we have the likes, shares, and the comments, but the comments is not there. Yeah, I think the comment is not pushed there. Oh my god, comment is not pushed there. Let me see why it is not, why isn't it pushes there. Okay, okay, I think there will be some issue with the comments, so that's why it is not pushed there. I think let me check inside of this model. We have this comments. Yeah, we have these comments and we have these numbers. Perfect, we have these comments and we have these numbers. Oh my, okay, I got this error because we have simply have this data that we have sent there. You see that if you take a look at the data inside of this route, you can see here we have the URL, like, dislike, and we have the comments. We have the comments, not the comment. So that's the error we got there. So this is because that's why we got the error there. Okay, so let's save this. What could I do right now? We just simply provide the things that we have. So we have this ID, source, channel, description. Then let's put the likes. Okay, so likes here. Okay, so likes for this likes. Okay, so likes width dot likes. Then we have the shares, so simply shares, so width dot shares. Fine, and now we can simply pass everything inside of this video.js that we have a component. If you see inside of this component we have this video.js. So let's save this and just let's go inside of this video.js, video.css. We have these things here. Okay, so inside of this video.css, sorry, video.js, we have a lot of things, like we have this ID, we have the source, we have the channel name, we have the description. So simply destructure everything. We have the descriptions, we have the likes, we have the shares, right? So just destructure everything. So we have this ID, we have the source, we have the channel, we have the description, we have this likes, we have the shares, and we have also the dislikes, but dislikes is not not populating there. Okay, so that's the issue, that we have misspelled the spellings for the dislikes and the comments. So that's why it is not that's why the data that is not pushed there. Okay, so we have these things here. Okay, so now we instead of this video source, we have this source. It is perfect, right? Okay, and then we have number of likes here, so just put here the likes. Okay, then we have the comments, so simply put the comment as it is. So simply put the comment as it is, the hard coded, because we have seen because we have not pushed the comments there, so that's why. Okay, so thumbs down and the comments is not there. And then we have the shares, so let's add the shares here. So we have the shares. Okay, so we have the shares here, and then we have the description. So instead of here, just put the description here. So let's put the description, fine. And then we have the channel name, so instead of this, here channel name, so channel name. And here for this avatar, we will just put the source. So simply put the source for this avatar here. So we just put the source here, here, right? So let's put the source here, hard-coded source here, right? And then we are done with this. Now let's save this. Okay, fine. So everything we are done with this. Now what you have to do, we are done with this. The last time you have to simply fire the command npm run build to populate all the data on the front end, right? That the data is coming from the endpoint that we have, the API that we have already created, and the data that is coming on the API from the MongoDB, right? So let's let's open a terminal, one more terminal here, or inside the terminal simply fire the command npm run build. Okay, so inside of this, let's go to the front end directory. Okay, so instead of this front end directory, you have to simply put it here npm run build. So build, once again, this is the last time you have to simply put the build here. And when you when we put the build here, you will see the whole data, the whole thing will be rendering on the screen there. Now you can see here, after the successful build, now you can see here the logo, the channel name that is coming directly from the MongoDB. We have the source, we have the shares, number of share, and we have the number of likes there. If you see here, we have all the data that is coming directly from the MongoDB from here. Okay, so you can see here the whole data is coming from the MongoDB. Okay, so we have built this application here. The only thing that is left is the deployment to the Heroku. So to deploy it to the Heroku, we will cover it in the next part. Till then, you can see here the whole application is now working perfectly. So let's test this.
नहीं ओके बाय। अरे तुमने मुझे ये क्यों नहीं बोला कि मैं तुमसे प्यार कर।
So this data is directly coming from the MongoDB database and the API endpoints that we have already created there. So the only thing that is left inside of this build is to deployment of this whole application on Heroku. So we will cover it in the next part. If you like this tutorial, I hope you would like this tutorial. Simply drop your comments in the comment box, and we'll simply reply your each and every comments. If you have any doubts or queries, or you want to ask me specifically on a specific topic, you can simply DM me on the Instagram. I will simply drop the link of the Instagram in the description. If you are new here and you have found this video through YouTube channel, so let's subscribe this channel, because we are going to put more and more quality content just like this in the MERN stack. Okay, and till then, have a nice and awesome day.